Hi, we're into week 3 now. Today is week 3 on my antidepressants, my Sertraline, and I thought I'd do another update because it is New Year's Eve, and New Year is all about starting fresh and getting on with life. We're into week 3. Not much has changed, honestly, from week 2, not that I've noticed. Thursday morning I booked my follow-up appointment at the doctor, which I will be going to next Thursday. I was looking at videos on YouTube of people who are doing the same thing as me, like vlogging and updating their journey on antidepressants, and that's what I've been trying to do. And I've noticed that most of the videos I've watched 3 weeks in is often a time where they start to kind of notice changes. Now I unfortunately haven't really. This week has been incredibly hard for me as a thing. I've had a lot happen while at the same time nothing's really happened. Wednesday was a very, very bad day for me. Today is Sunday. I was in tears, sobbing. I couldn't get out of bed. I fell asleep. I was sobbing so hard and I just couldn't stop. And I was thinking things that I was ashamed to be thinking. I don't really want to go into too many details, but I was essentially thinking of ways that I could not be here anymore. But I ended up surrounding myself with my family. I was with my brother and my dad. I felt so anxious that night actually that I vomited 3 times. I couldn't eat anything. I ate a flapjack about that big and it made me vomit. And I think it was because I'd cried so much that I started getting lightheaded, and that made me feel quite ill, and I just couldn't keep anything down, and that wasn't fun. So I'm not going to pretend that this week has been easy. I'm not going to pretend that the antidepressants seem to be working, because if anything, since I started them, I've felt worse, which is not fun, but it's a thing, and it's a thing that I'm trying to not only stick to in the hopes that what the doctor said, that it would be 4 to 6 weeks before anything really happens. Like, I hope that happens, but I'm also taking it upon myself to try and change little areas of my life. Like, I did this meditation app called Headspace that the doctor recommended me, which I mentioned in my last video, and I mentioned that I wasn't sure if I was going to pay for it, but thankfully my dad, being the amazing person that he is, has paid for a year's subscription to that for me. So I will be able to carry on with the meditation exercises. It's really helpful for me because I do it mostly every morning, and I just kind of get to sit and I do the exercise and I clear my head, and kind of all the bad thoughts that would come to me during the day, kind of they come and they go in the morning already, and it's kind of helpful. That's not to say that I don't get the bad thoughts throughout the day. I do. It's hard to stop them really, but this meditation app is helping me come up with exercises that will help me calm down if I were to get a bit anxious. I've also I've taken it upon myself to this week delete Snapchat as a app in my life. This might seem like a quite weird thing to do. It's actually, I realised, quite bad for my mental health. I love Snapchat. I loved using it. It was one of my favourite apps. Like, it was so much fun. But since they added the Snap Map, it's been quite difficult for me to not get fixated on it. So I will be quite fixated on the idea that I can see a friend hanging out with another friend and it bothers me that I didn't get an invite, or I'm just not there, or that some friends would rather hang out with this person than it's really, it sounds really silly, but it really affects me. And I thought that what's the point in essentially triggering my anxiety with this silly app because I can see what people are doing and then I'm not involved, which is silly, when I can just delete it and that be that, and not have to worry about where people are and why I'm not there and it's been weird since I haven't had it in my life, because it was an app that I used every day and it was a primary form of communication for me. I talked to my best friend on Snapchat all the time, every day. We had like a 9-month streak until I deleted it, and now I feel like I don't. It's only been a few days, but I already feel like I don't talk to him half as much, and that makes me sad, and that hasn't helped. It's a thing that I need to get used to. I know it sounds really silly, but these are the little things that I'm doing to try and help myself and my own sanity, as it were, going into the new year. I'm going to try and keep the meditation up, and I'm going to stop fixating on where my friends are. That's my main issue, is fixating on things. I get really anxious and I will come up with the worst case scenario for everything, and it's hard for me because then I need that reassurance from people that the worst case scenario isn't actually the case. Recently, these last few weeks, I've needed that reassurance more than ever that people do still like me, that I'm not a burden on people, and I've needed that reassurance, but I haven't been able to ask for it, because the more I ask for it, the more I push my friends away, and I don't want to do that. So I've just been quietly fixating on things and dealing with things in my own way, and talking to friends that maybe I wouldn't have been my first choice to talk to, because the people who are my first choice to talk to, I feel like I can't, because I've already pushed them away. And having these thoughts all the time is hard, because it does have that bad effect on your friendships and your relationships with people and myself. And that's what I want to do in this next year, in 2018. I want to give myself the self-love that I haven't ever given myself, I guess. And I already feel like things are changing, and I'm not good with change. I just want things to stay the way they were, but we'll see where 2018 takes me and where these take me. But until then, nothing's really happened, and we're in week 3. Can only go up from here. Fingers crossed.